Mr. Mugabe, you and Mr. Nkoma were saying yesterday that today's the day. Can you give us a hint of what you're likely to be saying later on to Lord Carrington?
I think it's Lord Carrington who said today as the day. Our view has always been that we negotiate as long as it is necessary to continue negotiating until we reach an agreement. Well, we expect Lord Carrington to reply, I think, to our own proposal. I don't think he has replied to our proposal regarding the disposition of the forces. His reply is not clear enough. He talks of reciprocal disengagement by the forces. But what is reciprocal disengagement of the forces? We would like to see a position in which we occupy equal status with the Rhodesian forces. In other words, if the Rhodesian forces are to remain in their existing bases, our forces must have the right to remain in their existing bases. If we are to move to assembly points, the Rhodesian forces must move to their barracks.
Now, after you saw Lord Carrington yesterday morning, the Foreign Office was letting it be known that Britain has tried to tailor the proposals as far as possible to meet your objections. Do you mean to say you don't know what the revised British proposals are yet?
No, we do know, but in some cases they need further clarification. There is lots of ambiguity about them. But on the question of the disposition of the forces, they haven't gone as far as we would like them to go. There are also such points as the Air Force, what's going to happen to it. There are South African pilots who are part of that Air Force. We want it grounded. The British government haven't given us their reply, at least in Lord Carrington's statement. Nothing is stated. There is the question of the time scale, which is still to be worked out regarding the ceasefire.
On the Air Force, is it your worry that if your troops were put into 15 separate areas, then they would be vulnerable to air attack?
Yes, this is precisely our fear. And don't forget, this is an Air Force which has been used against us, used against the frontline states in the past, and we've got to ensure that it is well under lock. It is necessary, absolutely necessary, that it must be brought under control. More so that you have South African pilots in that Air Force.
If I may say so, you're looking very relaxed. Can we take it that there isn't that much more work to do?
I've always looked relaxed. You have to look relaxed. If you become tense when you're dealing with a man like Lord Carrington, you might one day find yourself going insane. You really to keep your calm the whole way through.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he's a tough chairman, and of course there is always the position that we are confronted with a ready agreement, a predetermined position between the Salisbury Group and the British government. And then there is this constant pressure that we must accept that position, which means accepting the Salisbury position. And there are these constant pressures, and we have learnt now to build within our system shock absorbers and a system to resist that.
If you were a betting man, how much longer would you give this talk before we get an agreement, before you put pen to paper?
I can't say really. It depends entirely on how prepared Lord Carrington is to meet the viewpoint we are expressing, which we feel is a very crucial issue, namely the equality in the treatment of the forces.
But you're getting there slowly.
I think we might get there. We might get there, but we are not prepared that we should accept the position as given us at the present moment.
Mr. Mugabe, thank you very much.
Thank you.